What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Moving on to Best Women's Wrestler. I'm curious to see. I have a good 5 on here. 3 that we already talked about already in up and coming. But I'm curious to see who do y'all have for y'all women this year. Now granted, y'all not going to agree with my list. I'm going to put that out there right now. Y'all not going to agree with my list. However, I got a top 5. I picked 5 of them. And I know there are going to be women that's going to be missing. But these were the 5 women that, 1, I enjoyed watching. 2, made an impact. And 3, I felt so in their overall body of work for the year, had a decent, good year. That's how I do it. So do y'all want me to kick it off? Or somebody else want to kick it off?
Why you go ahead? I feel like
go ahead and kick it off.
Okay. Number 5. I'm just going to run through the list real quick and then we can agree or disagree. Y'all can tell me your list. Number 5, Willow Nightingale. Especially she won the Owen this year. I love her body of work. It's stuff with Japan, everything like that. Thick 2 season okay. Number 4, Trinity. I'm glad that she came out. She went over the Impact. She made a name for herself. She won the championship. And now she's over there with that whole new TNA resurgence. And I like her body work and what she's been doing. So shout out to Trinity. Number 3, Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffy time.
Yeah, huge fan of Tiff. Okay, I've been a fan of Tiff. And at first, when she first came in, I was like, okay, no, it's just Daddy's girl doing her thing. But I'm like, she has gotten really good. Really great. I'm all for Tiffany Stratton, and she just looks fabulous. Okay. And number 2, Timeless Toni Storm. Toni Storm, we see on WWE. She came in there. She was part of that whole Outcast, Women Green, NWO, and AEW. But she moved away from that. And this whole Marilyn Monroe gimmick that she got going on has been one of the most interesting things in the women's division over in AEW. Because Tony Khan only cares about like 1 or 2 women at a time over there. And the number 1 woman is Mommy herself, and that's Rhea Ripley.
I feel like she got to be on everybody's list. Really?
Yeah.
She may not. She's number 1 on my list. So Mommy definitely for.
I don't think she's 1 on my list.
Hey, her body of work is great. She's looked great. She's been trolling, and she can pimp me like that any other day she wants to.
Right, like the first half when she was really lit was the first half, like when that title run started.
Yeah.
Always but I don't think she's number 1 on my list.
I mean, I can agree because her body of work. At least when it comes to matches, like unless they're like PLEs, they really haven't given her nobody to work with. Like they were giving her Maxine Dupree.
And I think that's the problem.
That's the thing. That's the problem.
And Zoe Stark stuff like that.
She kind of cool once she got the title, but I don't blame her.
Yeah. Okay, so that's my personal list. Now I want to hear some of y'all's. Or if y'all agree or disagree.
I got no. I agree with most of your lists. I got Trinity on my list. 2, Willow Nightingale. I really like what Athena's been doing.
Yeah, but she needs screen time. That's the only thing I would love.
Yeah, that is her only thing. Like
because I would did that, and then I was thinking about putting Chris Statlander on there for ending Jade's streak, but then once again Tony Khan creates he hot shots this moment and gets rid of it, and then next thing you know, it's just like, all right, well, they do nothing with Chris Statlander, then Julia Hart just takes her title and calls it a day. Which, by the way, Julia Hart has been doing great this year also. In the come up, she just didn't do enough for me to make my list. But go ahead.
But yeah, I like what Athena's been doing. Io Sky, man, like she's been my number one pick when the year started, low key.
Io has been fantastic.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley, of course. I like what heel Trish was doing. I just wish. I mean, she doing what she can for her age, so I'm not going to dock too many points from her. But I like what she was doing. I don't like how they handled the story, and I think that's what's putting her lower on the list because Lita still ain't get her lick back yet, and I'm just like, we just forgot all about that. Huh?
Yeah,
she done beat Lita to a different company. Like, did I say Trinity? I gotta give her. Yeah, she's been rocking. I like what Mickie James was doing.
I love me, Mickey.
I like the last one.
I think Melina's been outside a little bit too. No.
Yes.
Yeah, Melina's been outside. I like the transformation. I know she's not the complete package, but I do like what they've been doing with Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, that's to use a saying that you say. I hear you often. I feel like that's going to need more time to cook.
Yeah, she just needs time to cook. What else? Bailey's definitely been holding it down.
That's my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bailey's been holding it down. Who else? That's about it. That's about it.
Okay, so
Tony Storm.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, I like some of your mentions in there also, Q-Flow. Now, Quattro, I'm curious now. I heard Bailey's your number one, so give me your list real quick, and I want to hear your reasoning for. I'm just curious about how you feel about Bailey.
All right, Bailey was my number one, Rhea was my number two, and Bianca was my number three. Now, and I only had those three. Now, I agree with everything you said about Rhea, but my reason why she got number two because it seems like after the title she kind of cool, but I don't blame her. I feel like that's just the position she's in. The reason why I have Bailey at number one from not only creating that faction, rising that faction, and pushing people up in that faction. Whereas Q-Flow definitely got Io on that list. Bailey helped support and push Io to that main front. Not saying that Io couldn't got there, nor deserved it, nor is possible of doing it by herself. But it's that work that Bailey been putting in that group and on the side, whether it is a manager, a competitor, or backstage segments, she helped really rise the stock of Damage Control. And for everything Bailey has done, that's why I elevated her to number one this year. I feel like Bianca is still just an all-around great worker. Throughout the year, she's always holding down main storylines. She's always holding place, and she's still putting on great matches and even like creative parts in all her match. And I think that stands out a lot. And what was big for her last year, that WrestleMania interest was insane, bro.
Oh my God, I did not say Bianca. I'm bugging. I'm bugging out.
That I ain't gonna lie. That WrestleMania thing was, was definitely popping.
And then after that, the match she had with Asuka, you sitting there watching that match like, this is good. So yeah, that's why I got the people I got on my list. Now everybody else was said, and like I said earlier in the cast, I really love Willow Nightingale's work this year. Oh my God, I love Willow Nightingale's work and character. Coming into her character. I don't even watch the New Japan pay-per-views because I'm a cheap ass, but I definitely went back on YouTube and watched that match between her and Mercedes Moné, and that was good too. So Trinity has worked amazingly hard, and I even said once again earlier in this cast, she did more than what I think she was going to do. She was extremely impressive to me, and almost, if there was a list for most improved, I would give it to her. Out of everybody I'm on this year, her and then maybe like Dom. So, and that's why
her than who
is up there too. Dom.
Dom, yeah.
But yeah, like if there was a most improved list, like that was crazy. If we could go the year before to this year, yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my reason for my list. But I definitely respect all y'all lists.
As you broke it down like that, okay, I see that. Because I'm gonna say, because other than everything you said about Bailey, because Bailey been racking up them losses. But however, for everything else that she has contributed, because she really just put the whole damage control thing on her back, and because even when that was a dying thing, and I was like in this, because it was rough. I was like in this, but okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying. That is a valid point. I can't even argue with that one. That's a valid point.